Hello guys, this is Kaishiro. Welcome back. So for our video today, we're going to cover top 5 rogue decks of June 2023 OCG format. So these are the good decks that you can play and compete against the format in this metagame. These are the decks that will give you good chances of winning and competing against the very best decks on the format. So yeah, let's get started. Coming at number 5, we have Sword Soul Tenyi. So this deck has been quite here for a very considerable time. This deck saw massive resurgence on the release of Burst of Destiny that emerged Sword Soul as the best deck of the format right after the release. But until this date, Sword Soul is pretty still decent and good at some extent. So this is a very viable deck if you want to try on a rogue status. So this deck can easily bring out Chisao, their very own boss monster, and the most pivotal card for Sword Soul, and Barone. So these two are the cogs of the deck. You want to successfully summon out Chisao and Barone to manhandle your opponent with the two negates from this card with your hand cards of hand traps and utility cards. I think it is still a decent board until this date. But the problem of Sword Soul is very much relevant due to the fact that there are many mid-range decks that are running Ghost Ogre, Imperm, those hand traps that may hurt the Sword Soul strategy. Because to be honest, this deck is pretty much fragile to many hand traps. The deck has linear line of plays, but they don't have that much of follow-ups and utility and what do you call this resistance to this type of hand traps. Ghost Ogre can end the turn of Sword Soul if Ghost Ogre is used on Moye or Taya and Infirm as well, because you can stop them from summoning the token. So yeah, with the urgency of Tenyi, you can make more plays with the Tenyi monsters and you can be much consistent because you can use the Tenyi monsters on the graveyard for Taya and Moye to reveal them because they are weird monsters. So I highly recommend to put a Tenyi package on the Sword Soul strategy. And the thing is, they are pretty much crude on this very meta-relevant staple with this dimensional barrier. This is very popular nowadays due to the fact that Purely is the best deck of the format and many other meta-relevant decks such as Kashtira are losing against this card. So that's why you can struggle during this time of meta game when you're playing Sword Soul due to the things that I have said earlier. Personally, I think that Sword Soul got power crept on the format. This deck is not the same deck as they used to be. Other decks are very more powerful and more consistent than Sword Soul, but I still think this is a decent deck if you want to play conservatively on the format because of the good resource management of Sword Soul. So yeah, at number 5, we have Sword Soul, Tenyi. And moving forward, at number 4, we have Dragon Link. So this is a much more older deck than Sword Soul. Due to my research, I saw Dragon Link top the format last 2020 or 2019, I guess. Oh, 2020. Yeah. I'm still not playing Yu-Gi-Oh by that time. So I just use my research to search the best decks around those time. So yeah, Dragon Link is still a very good deck up until this date. Imagine this is a 4-year-old deck, but this is still kicking until this format. So it says how evergreen and timely this deck is with those factors alone. Dragon Link can easily bring out other boss monsters like Borreload, Dragon, and Barone, and sometimes IP Masquerena that can link climb into Unicorn or Apollousa. So this deck pretty much brings out many negations on the setup on their field. So this is a very good combo deck. It can use the negations of the monsters to take over the game, and you can be very much consistent with the support from the Rocket archetype from the previous sets, and the Chaos Space is still very good on Dragon Link, especially the Bestial inclusion, that makes the deck more resilient and flexible to the format. And Bestial monsters are also good on the Matmech matchup. Matmech is the one of the best decks right now on the format. That's why Bestial can answer the Matmech Sigma. So yeah, Dragon Link has space to answer Matmech on the format. But the problem is still the same. This is a combo deck, so they can suffer from Dark Ruler no more and Kurikara Divine Incarnate. If their negations are baited out, your opponent can easily use the Kurikara to wipe your board. So yeah, this deck has weakness on the format, especially in the form of Kurikara. But nonetheless, this is a very good deck to play and a timely one. So you can be rest assured that this deck will be very good on the future formats. Not until this deck got very power creep from the modern decks. But I highly think that Dragon Link is still a commendable deck to play moving forward. So at number 4, we have Dragon Link. Coming at number 3, we have Manadium. So Manadium is one of the most supported archetypes from the previous sets with the Sayak, Duelist Nexus. This deck is the what do you call this? The Unika Iha of Konami right now, because the lore of our OCG structure manga and storyline are following the Manadium or the Visa's Starfrost lore right now. So expect that this deck will get more support moving forward from the next sets that we are going to have, because this is the storyline right now on the format, like the Branded and Albas and Dogmatica. Those previous archetypes are very much supported by Konami due to the fact that they are the baseline lore of the format and the OCG structure. And this deck can also bring out Barone, Apollousa, and Chaos Angel. This deck can literally negate everything on the field. But the most lethal thing right now on the Manadium strategy is the Bishbalkin and Archfiend OTK and FTK. That is very cancerous, to be honest. And I want that to be answered or addressed with the following ban list this July, because I think this is a very cancerous type of play with the Manadium. But the problem of Manadium is still the same with the very common problem of combo decks is Nibiru, of course, and of course Maxi, because Manadium summons almost half of their deck during their turn. So Maxi is a very good card to answer the Manadium. And also Droll and Lockbird, the most prevalent hand trap right now on the format due to Purely and other cards decks that adds from their deck. So Droll is very good against Manadium, and sometimes Ash Blossom can be very detrimental on Manadium if they don't have follow-ups. So yeah, Ash can hurt the deck, and other going second cards like Dark Ruler, or rather Forbidden Droplet, can easily take out the Manadium strategy. So this deck can be very fragile for a lot of the answers right now on the format. But I think that this deck has a lot of room to improve due to the fact that they will get more support. So yeah, at number 3 we have Manadium. Coming at number 2, we have Salamand Great Matmech. So Salamand Great, as we all know, got their most recent support from the DP28. I forgot the Soul Burner Duelist pack that so Resurgence last week, I guess, if I'm correct. Correct me if I'm wrong. But Salamand Great got their support from there. The new Salamand Great cards made the deck more viable and more consistent. And this is the version of using Matmech. So we already know that Matmech is one of the best decks right now on the format, paired with Salamand Great. This is a very good mixture of Cyber's archetype. So yeah, this deck relies on bringing out Heat Soul as much as possible as their end board to gain more draw power, so they can draw utility cards or hand traps to suffocate their opponents, and with the super factorial, of course, from the Matmech strategy, this deck can literally negate everything on the field if they have drawn the correct hand traps and the decent board. So yeah, this is a pretty good deck right now on the format, the Salamand Great Matmech, but the problem is they can get easily screwed by Red Reboot, so Resurgence on the main deck of many people right now, because you have decks like Runic and Labyrinth that are ruining gameplay experience right now on the format by stunning the players, and also the Super Factorial and the Purely Leap are very powerful trap cards on the format. That's why Red Reboot so Resurgence on the main deck of many people, and Salamand Great Matmech is no differ from those decks. They can easily lose to Red Reboot, and also Matmech are heavily affected by DD Crow and Bestial that are very popular side deck options right now, and main deck inclusions that can stop the Sigma from link climbing their board into their setup. So these cards will definitely hurt the Matmech. And then the most notable hit that can affect the Salamand Great Matmech strategy is the Phantasmi. Phantasmi is very popular right now in the format. We do have a lot of link-based decks such as Matmech and right now Salamand Great and Vanquish Soul and Rescue Ace. They have a lot of link shenanigans right now in the format. So Phantasmi is a very good card to answer those decks. So yeah, even this deck is very good. It has a lot of counters on the format. So yeah, Salamand Great Matmech is my number 2 best rogue deck on the format. Coming at number 1, we have the pure Salamand Great. So I think this is the best version of Salamand Great right now. The pure version. Salamand Great Matmech has more ceiling, but I do think that Salamand Great Pure is the most consistent one out of the Salamand Great variants right now. So this is the deck that utilizes the supports from the Duelist pack of Soul Burner. So this deck can utilize all of the Salamand Great new monsters, but the problem is still the same. Phantasmi is very good on Salamand Great, and also cards like Evil Limatch and Lightning Storm can wipe the Salamand Great, because Salamand Great ends on link monsters. That's why the Salamand Great Rage Phoenix, I guess, can be easily affected by Lightning Storm, because you can out the link monsters from this Salamand Great strategy, and they rely on the Salamand Great Roar and Rage on their disposal. That's why Evenly Much can screw them up. So yeah, Salamand Great is my notable best rogue deck right now on the June 2023. So at number 1, we have Salamand Great. So recap, at number 5, we have Sword Soul Tenyi. At number 4, we have Dragon Link. At number 3, we have Manadium. At number 2, we have Salamand Great Matmech. And at number 1, we have Pure Salamand Great. So yeah, this sums up this video. Thank you for watching, and hit the like button if you like this kind of content, and hit the subscribe button if you are not yet subscribed on my channel. And see you on the next one. Peace.